You ever have someone bang on your front gate like they're the cops, only to find it's just a woman in shoulder pads and a pastel blazer yelling that you owe her your pool? Yeah, that happened. I was just finishing up some tile work by the water grout still drying, rain tapping the surface like a metronome, when I looked up and saw her gripping a clipboard like it was a sword. "Open up," she shouted. No explanation, just entitlement. She said she was the president of the Brookdale Crossings HOA, and apparently my backyard pool was now a shared amenity under some obscure clause they'd cooked up. Only problem, I don't belong to the HOA. Never have. My house was here long before their subdivision even had streetlights. I told her flat out, "This is private property. You're not entitled to anything here." She hit me with HOA jargon like she was quoting scripture. Something about a 200-foot community rule and a board vote. Then she slapped a citation against the gate, except the wind caught it and sent it spiraling into a puddle. I laughed. She didn't. Said she'd be back with law enforcement, and she was. A deputy showed up later that day, nice guy, clearly uncomfortable. I handed him the original plat map and county exemption letter. 10 minutes later, he apologized and warned her about false reports. I figured that was the end of the nonsense. Spoiler, it wasn't. Over the next week, I got flooded with notices. Certified mail HOA citations. Plastic-wrapped demands tossed over my fence like they were delivering bad news by drone. One morning, I woke up to find a big red sticker on my door that said, "Amenity access required." Like my front porch was a vending machine. So I did what any sane person would do. I installed cameras. Then I called Mitch, my lawyer. Mitch has this dry laugh like he's already seen the ending. When I mentioned the HOA clause, he nearly choked on his coffee. They tried that with a horse stable last year, he said. Didn't end well for them. 2 days later, while I was at the hardware store, my phone pinged with motion alerts. I opened the feed, and there they were. Cynthia and a couple of her bored goons cutting through my backyard fence with bolt cutters like they were breaking into a junkyard. Behind them, a row of kids wrapped in towels waiting to cannonball. I called the sheriff on the spot and raced home. By the time I got there, they'd already run, but not before my cameras got clear shots of their faces and plates. That's when we sued for trespassing vandalism and attempted conversion of private property. Cynthia's response. She pushed through a special assessment on her HOA members to cover legal fees. When a few folks pushed back, she retaliated, citing them for things like mailbox paint lawn length, even garage doors that were too yellow. Things got weird fast. One day, a neighbor I'd never talked to, Mrs. Marks, an elderly librarian, slipped me an envelope under my gate. Inside were minutes from an HOA meeting and a note that said, "You didn't hear this from me." Turns out the HOA's sprinkler system ran under my vegetable garden. Their decorative stone path, 2 feet over my property line. Their privacy fence, a full meter into my land. We flagged it with survey markers and gave them 15 days to remove it. Instead, Cynthia stapled another demand letter to my maple tree, this time with 5-inch nails. I had to call an arborist. Sent her the bill. You'd think that would have been the boiling point. But nah, she had more. I came back from a camping trip in June to find 14 strangers floating in my pool. Cynthia was there too, lounging in an inflatable flamingo, waving like we were old friends. "You weren't here," she said smugly. "Your absence is tacit consent." I didn't even argue. I just shut off the pool pump. The jets died. The Flamingo slumped and people scrambled. One guy broke a chair, another slipped, and nearly took out the hedge. That night, Mitch filed for an emergency injunction. 48 hours later, the judge signed it. Nobody from Brookdale Crossings was allowed on my land. Cynthia responded by plastering flyers around the neighborhood calling me a pool hoarder. Even put one back on the injured maple. Then came the fireworks, literally. She used HOA funds to throw a 4th of July celebration and launched the fireworks from her clubhouse. One of them hit my roof, set the shingles on fire. Firefighters got it out fast, but repairs cost me 15 grand. My insurance sued. Their insurance. But the insurer denied the claim, called it deliberate misconduct by the board. So the HOA had to eat the full bill. By now, the neighbors were furious. During an emergency meeting, they demanded a financial audit. Cynthia tried to dodge it, claimed executive privilege. Didn't matter. The motion passed, and boy did they find dirt. Thousands in catering retreats labeled board wellness, even a massage chair billed as ergonomic support. Her last move. She filed a lawsuit claiming my land was actually part of their HOA. Brought in a photocopied map with a shaky blue rectangle drawn around my property like a toddler's art project. Said it was a clerical oversight. In court, we dropped a mountain of evidence. Original subdivision maps, county certificates, video footage of fence, cutting arborist invoices, fire repair bills, even a notarized confession from her landscaper saying she told him to blow grass clippings over my fence to irritate me. The judge wasn't having it. In his ruling, he threw out her claim with prejudice and awarded me triple damages, total £287,000. He also ordered the HOA to remove all encroachments at their expense using my chosen contractor. Cynthia tried to appeal, but her board refused to fund it. Then they turned on her, sued her for breach of duty. Things spiraled. The HOA ran out of money. The county found out the clubhouse had been expanded illegally. Their insurance lapsed. Liens stacked up. Property values nosedived. And finally, the state put the whole subdivision under receivership. Cynthia resigned in disgrace, then got hit with indictments, financial misconduct, forged documents, you name it. 7 months after that first gate knock, the HOA was officially dissolved. The common areas went to the city. No more dues, no more citations. Neighbors started planting wildflowers instead of asking permission to hang a wind chime. And me, I installed a new wrought iron gate, solid black and right in the center, a bronze flamingo with its neck twisted in mock frustration. My little monument to the chaos we all survived. These days, people only come over when invited. Some still apologize. Some avoid eye contact. I don't mind either way. I didn't pick this fight, but I sure as hell finished it. Now here's my question to you. What would you have done? Was I right to push this all the way? Or should I have just let them swim? Let me know in the comments, because when it comes to HOAs and power trips, there's always more than one side to the story.